Hello, everybody. Welcome back to DND404. I am your DM, Tony, and join with me today are the other three songs that rock, but you might have forgotten existed, starting with the number one, Studio Jared.
What's going on, guys? Armos checking in. I gotta say, my slept-on song, the one that as soon as you listen to it, you gotta play it again, is Spody Odie Dopalicious by Outkast.
What is that?
If you don't know that song, as soon as you hear it, you're gonna start hearing the trumpets. You're gonna be like, this is just, it's such a good vibe. It's awesome. I love that song so much. If you don't know it, go check it out. What about you, Dan?
There it is. Hey, I am Dan. I play Minnis PebbleWalker, your tiny little swarmkeeper ranger, and I am the good people of this podcast. It's by Jack Johnson, pretty popular artist, but I don't think a lot of people know or have listened to Good People. That is a song that doesn't get enough recognition, and I go back to listen to it constantly. And I think it's a very fitting song for our times. It aged very well, so definitely go back and give that a listen. So that's my song. What about you, Drell?
Yeah, my name is Drell. I play Alec of the... my name is Alec. I play Drell of the Ashbourne. And my song... It actually took me a while to think of something, but I think I'm going to go with When Your Heart Stops Beating by Plus 44. If anyone doesn't know who that is, it was a band that was created by Travis Barker and Mark from Blink-182 when they took like a hiatus, and they have like a bunch of other people in it, and it was just like one of the songs. It's not as good as Blink-182 music, but it's definitely like a sing along in the car. It's pretty good. So go check it out. What about you, Tony?
My go-to song would have to be Peaches by the Presidents of the United States of America, where it's like millions of peaches. Peaches for me. That's like my go-to karaoke song too. It's like such a good one. It's such a good song.
I've never heard that song.
Well, you should
So
listen to
good.
it because it's slept on.
Nah, I heard of it. Not slept on.
Not slept on. Confirmed. You know the deal. Before we roll for the recap, we're going to go ahead and roll for the rundown. And today's rundown is brought to you by Jared.
What's going on, guys? If you haven't heard, we updated our website, and I'm talking not even like a slight update, massive overhaul. Tore it all down, rebuilt it. And we bought a few domains. So now if you go to DND404.com, that is right. DND404.com will get you to our new site. Go check it out. We have character bios, episode blogs. You can comment on every episode straight to the site. We have the same merch, but we're going to be updating that soon. Contact information on all of the platforms is there too. And we're going to add a few extra little things in there every so often. So DND404.com.
But Jared, I live in Canada and my parliament is super restrictive. How can I access the website?
So we also bought, funny story. So in Canada, DND404 is some kind of military license. So we bought that domain as well. So DND404.ca.
Nice.
If you wanted to get there. And also 404pod.com works as well. So we now have 3 domains. And
comment in the Discord what the Australian websites are, and maybe we'll buy that too.
Yeah, you know what? Just get them all. We'll get the .org, the .net. We'll get them all.
As a Canadian adjacent, I'm very excited to boot that.
Oh my. Anyways, roll that dice. Let's
We're gonna roll it. We're rolling it. Where I roll a giant rubber foam D4, where I am number 1. 2 is Dan. No, 2 is Alec. 3 is Dan. 4 is Jared. First try, rolling it.
That was a pretty good roll,
Right?
That I
was impressed with that.
Happy with the roll.
I
don't
think
think I'm
that's
gonna
Jared.
happy with the results. Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
I knew it was gonna be me too.
This is my favorite segment when it's not me.
See, it's the way you threw the dice. You gave it to. Normally, you throw it half-assed and it rolls. And
It can feel
it's
the
like,
mischievous
damn.
nature of his toss.
Yeah,
Picked
that
Armos.
one was like a legit good toss, so it really randomized it. All
I'm
right.
just so excited about this arc, bro. That's why I'm just
a basketball pun for the D&D nerds. I like it.
So last time on DND404, we're chilling on Priscilla, right? And out of nowhere, these gnolls jump us. Classic move, but no biggie. We handled it with style. Things got wild when Minnis tried to speed up and whoops, hello, double-headed Alec crocodile. Bit of a scare, but Armos whipped out some serious magic and Drell was on cleanup duty. Teamwork makes the dream work. After the adrenaline rush, we had a moment, we got philosophical about life, stuff, while picking off the last of the gnolls. Good times. We roll into Sanlow and picture this, a village with a big old floating rock overhead. Yeah, not your everyday sight. Drell was all about the speed potions at the shop, and Minnis, our boy, got big, like 8 feet tall big, thanks to some potion magic. But the heart of the episode, Minnis in the journal shop. Sparks flew with Numi. Is it love? Who knows? Minnis and Numi totally vibing at the journal shop. Could this be the start of something epic, right? Meanwhile, Drell didn't want to show his journal, saying it was his diary, and Armos, he's all in. He's ready to share his. Only catch, it's a demonic tome, which definitely gave Numi a bit of a scare. Wrapped up the episode by going out of the journal shop, seeing a mysterious dwarf with some fancy tools. A golden hammer? Stick around, folks. We got love in the air, mystery to solve. Definitely gonna be having a chat with a dwarf. And Bard, play that intro.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the world of Humbrea, featuring 3 first-time adventurers and 1 very patient DM. This is D&D 404. Fellas, boyos, welcome to session 90. Wow, look at that. Wow, we're in session 90, boys. What'd you think of that? 10 away. We're 10 away from the big 100. Let's see if you guys survive till then, all right? We are going to pick up Session 90 in the heart of the mountain city full of minotaurs, Sanlow. Our 3 adventurers just left the journal shop where Minnis made a great new friend named Numi. After setting some plans to meet Numi at the local tavern of Milk and Honey, where outsiders are allowed, they discover a dwarven teenager, an older teenager with a golden hammer and another fell ogburn attached to his waist, walking out of the blacksmith shop with a bunch of supplies. This catches your attention, and that is where we are going to pick up. It is currently midday. The city is bustling with workers. People are traveling, buying, selling, and working. It is moderately dense, and there are eyes everywhere. What are you doing?
Guys, see what I'm seeing, right?
What? Drell looks around like he doesn't.
Over there. I point a little too high because I'm used to pointing up.
Minnis is also 7'10".
No, I'm pretty sure it's 8 feet. Pretty sure it's closer to 8 feet.
I don't know. And Drell does the hand height measuring thing on his head to Minnis. Can I see who's taller?
I'm usually 4 foot, so I'm probably 8 right now.
Probably not. But anyways, oh yeah, that's. Wait, isn't that the guy Lord Baron was talking to us about? What's his name? It's in my notes, but I don't have him out right now.
Starts with a O-B. Oh. He's a dwarf. We need him. Let's get him.
That's what that orange elf was talking about.
Doric. There's an O in there.
As soon as I hear his name, I start stomping over there, trying to get in front of him to start a conversation.
I look at Drell. I thought we were about to sneak up on him. Uh-oh.
I thought we were just gonna go talk to him, but
how are the 3 of you approaching this dwarf?
I just want to get in front of him to stop him so that we can start a conversation with him. But I want to be ready to act in case he tries to do something with his lantern.
How far away is he from us?
He's about 30 feet away from you. He's walking out of the blacksmith's forge, and he has about 3-4 crates in his hand stacked on top of each other. When he walks out of the forge, you see that he's navigating through the tall minotaurs. He's about 4 feet tall himself, but the way he's stepping, it's like the minotaurs are walking by him, and he's moving like water through their legs, navigating through them like he's done this a million times before. Armos, you start to walk over. He's walking the same pace as you. How are you trying to get his attention, or how are you getting in front of him?
Well, now that you mention it, if he's moving so swiftly through all this, I'm starting to rethink.
Oh my god, do the old accidental bump into trick.
He's not rushing. He's walking with purpose.
No, I know, but he's very swift, which if he starts to run, oh my god, I don't want to do a chase scene. You know what I mean? I'll try to get in front of him and then bump into him and see if he like magically goes around me or something.
First, give me a performance check.
Oh, okay.
Our boy's good at that, right?
Performance 18. Oh, what is this? Oh wow. Look at these things over this in the store. Oh!
With an 18 performance check, you manage to get in front of him. And you go to like bump into him. Very naturally, he doesn't assume that you're trying to get into his way. It seems as realistic as you made it to for him to believe. It looks like you just like tripped in front of him, and he like almost he pivots out of the way, almost like a dance move. He like jumps on his left foot and then jumps on his right foot to get around you and continues to walk. He doesn't look at you. He doesn't pay any mind. Give me a perception check.
11.
Okay. You don't notice anything other than the clothes that he's wearing. He's wearing leather clothes. He's covered in soot. It looks like he has been working at an anvil all day, and he's wearing this metal helmet.
I look at Minnis and I go, Minnis, you're next. And I push him towards him.
Yeah, he's still like, he's probably a little farther away from me now, but he's like, where does it look like he's walking towards?
He's heading north.
Oh, he's heading north.
Yes.
Okay. I kind of walk forward. I stumble a little because I'm not used to my weight, and I shrug at Drell, and I just try and tail him for a second to get an idea of where he's going.
Go ahead and make me a stealth check with advantage if the three of you are following him.
Not great. That is a 33.
I got a nat 20.
Armos, what did you get?
13. No,
13.
12.
12. The three of you are confidently trailing him. You believe that you're not getting his attention. Even you, Armos, as you're stumbling, Reginald is like, come on, stop tripping over stuff. With your 12, you notice that your footing is very off, Armos, more in a weird way. You feel like you're tripping over something that isn't there. And like you're looking back and you're like, I didn't even bump into anybody. And Reginald's like, come on. You got 2 left feet? What is this, amateur hour? And the three of you follow along. Then you notice that he heads more northeast, where a lot of the tents look similar. They look like homes. And you see like soft smokestacks of like people cooking inside or doing their daily activities, but it looks more residential in this part of the area. And then he takes one of the dirt roads to the side, and you notice that there is a watchtower with 2 of these Centaurian minotaurs looking about. Looks like they're just guarding the area. Now, Minnis, when you talked to the guard in episode 89, when he ignored you, they look the same. It looks like he was guarding an area specifically from outsiders. Same thing for this path. It looks like there's a large chunk of the city that you're not meant to go in. You see the dwarven teenager, the dwarven child, look up at the tower. He waits a second, and then just as swiftly as he was moving around the citizens of the town, he slips behind another tent and uses it almost as an alleyway to proceed further. With your stealth checks, you manage to follow his steps. You wait a few beats, and then you follow along. And he's heading north through the residential area, and he's trying not to be seen by the townsfolk that would more or less care that he's there. What are the three of you doing as you continue to follow along?
I want to make just like a perception of the area around us, and I want to actually see if anyone else, like if we're looking for him, I want to maybe think other people are looking for him as well.
Sure.
So then I want to just see like if anyone else is paying attention to him or looks like they might be following him or interested in like following him as well.
Make me a perception check.
That's a nat 1.
Nothing out of the ordinary. You just see a lot of minotaurs. You see families. You see kids running around. Looks like they're playing amongst themselves. You see mother minotaurs taking care of their duties. You see very, very normal residential activity.
Drell, pay attention. You're falling behind.
What? Sorry. Just looking around.
I just want to believe a nat 1, like a bug flew in his eye when he was trying to perceive something.
Joe, what is this, amateur hour? What, you don't know how to stalk people or look around? Jeez.
All right, you don't need to be rude, Reginald. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, seriously. Sorry. It's man.
You don't need to take supplements to look bigger, Minnis.
It's natural. But I keep going.
You take 1d4 cutting words. No.
Right now, I just want to keep following this guy unless some of you have another trick up your sleeve.
Nope. I'm down. Just keep following him.
Yeah, I'm
Word.
down to follow him. I'm just worried that it's going to seem more suspicious the more we follow him. But
Right, I'm feeling that too.
I would almost, yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep, we're in it.
You've continued through the residential area as now the three of you are also dodging the view of the people living within their homes. They seem preoccupied, so it's very easy to navigate. You see that he now heads for the hills beyond the residential area. You see that he waits. There's a hole in one of the fences. It's very small. Looks like it's actually a hidden entranceway into the town. He approaches the wooden gate. He looks around, doesn't see anything, and then moves a plank to the side that's just big enough for somebody of 4 feet squeeze through seamlessly. And then he slowly brings the boxes through. And then the plank closes, and the three of you approach the gate.
I popped my head out of a bunch of SIDS I was hiding in. All right, let's go.
It is a mountainous area. That would work.
Can the other guys make it through if they like struggle? Would they make noise or something?
Yes. Anything that is over 5 feet tall would probably have a hard time squeezing through this.
So Minnis is big right now as well, right? So
Yeah.
He is.
I was about to, that's my next thing. Has it been over 3 hours?
This particular barrier is about 15 feet tall. This isn't the main defending wall, but like it looks like this is like a keep out area.
All right, everybody use your quiet stuff, and I bonus action float over the wall.
Oh yeah, let's just use our quiet stuff because we all have that. Drell pulls out his ring of jumping, and he's gonna just try to jump over it.
Yes!
15 feet is so easy for the ring of jumping for you because of your strength. You just go up, and you hop over.
That's wonderful.
Almost, you're next.
I'm just misty step through, I guess, with my.
Reggie goes, come on, and he opens up the plank so you can see where you need to go, and you go, and you misty step 3 feet forward.
That was the best thing that's ever happened for such a mundane aspect of the game.
Three of you make it over this fence, and you see the dwarf leagues ahead of you. It seems like now he's like moving as fast as he could, and he seems like he's heading towards a cave.
Are there like other people? Like, what does it look like once we?
Not in this area.
So it looks like an abandoned town or abandoned.
Give me a perception check.
Ooh, that's a lot better. That's a 25.
Looks like an old mine. Looks like he's heading towards a mine shaft of some kind.
Okay.
It looks old because you could tell that the entranceway, the wood, the foundation to hold open the entranceway is rotted. It doesn't look stable. It doesn't look well taken care of. The tracks for minecarts are broken, and it looks just overgrown. So activity here looks like it stopped.
Got it.
I suppose I'll wait for him to enter and see if he looks around before moving forward towards the entrance.
Sure does. So as he moves towards the entrance, he gives one last glance and he looks around left to right. He looks above him. He goes through some of the overgrown foliage and he goes inside the cave.
All right, we just going in this cave here?
God, I hate caves.
What? Since when?
As like the three of you are talking, you see a quick green flash.
Oh, guys. I hate to say it, I think it's time, and I pull out a lantern.
Nope, not doing it. Nope, not going. Can't make me.
This is our actual
Doesn't matter.
quest.
Can't make me.
Actual quest.
I'm not going back there. Last time I turned into a giant dragon.
I try and persuade Drell to go into mine. Drell, listen. All right? That thing's long gone. We took care of it. This is going to be a whole different area. We're stronger now, right? You're the strongest out of all of us. You'll be fine.
You think so?
Yeah, look at you. You're all natty. Like someone I know.
Wait, what do you mean?
He's talking about Minnis.
Yeah, Armos, and I'm thinking about the Bloodshards.
Okay.
I'm going to go up to the entrance of the cave, and I'm going to check to see if there are any, like, traps or alarms before I...
Give me an investigation check.
That's going to be 22. Not bad.
You do not spot any alarms, traps, bamboozles, or hoodwinks. What you do see when you gaze inside the cave is that a couple of feet in, it looks like the mine has collapsed in on itself, preventing you from going further than a couple of feet.
I knew it. Video game secret passage shit. There's gonna be a waterfall in here, Armos. I can feel it.
Hang on. Whoa. X-nay on the waterfalls. They're not my favorite thing.
We're bringing up all the trauma this episode.
All the trauma.
Yeah, I pull out the lantern and I hesitate. I'm like, I don't think we have another option, guys.
We're
Got
wasting
any
time.
other ideas?
Let's go. No.
What if it's just a door and I try to walk through the wall?
Take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you walk through a bunch of rocks.
Fuck. All right, do it. Fine. And I like point to the lantern.
What about Numi?
Oh, no.
Guys, could I use an emergency magic letter to write to Numi? You cool with that?
Who?
We got 9 left. I'm not gonna lie, I already used one.
You better make it quick. Better start.
Okay.
Use your scribble handwriting and not that crazy stuff you've been trying to do.
Gotcha.
Calligraphy.
Numi, I don't know how to explain this, but we're in a predicament. I will tell you about it tomorrow, or maybe the next time I see you. I'm sorry, but I will have to cancel our next meeting. I promise I'll be back. Best, Minnis PebbleWalker. And I write it on the magic letter, seal it, and throw it into the air.
You take up this green envelope, the letter from the FFCS, the magical envelope, and you gingerly wave it in the air, and it slowly disappears into this green dust, and surely it is delivered, just like last time.
Forgive me, Numi. I light the lantern.
You see as the world begins to contort and change around you, shadow overtakes the sun, the cave becomes darker, and the rocks become twisted and slowly reform and move out of the way. They begin to meld back into the cave wall, now giving you a passage deeper into the cave. Outside, you see the large glowing moon, and that's the only light source, as now all the trees, the land, and rock look decrepit. And you also see a rundown version of Sanlow. You do not sense any activity beyond its walls. You now have a dark cave before you.
I'm gonna cast light on, I suppose Drell's. Drell, what do you want light on this time?
My head.
Oh, well,
Like a light bulb.
I don't know if it works on living stuff. I'll try. I try and cast it on Drell's head.
I think it needs to be an item, but I'm sure you can find something on his head where it illuminates.
All right, fine. My sunglasses. Do it on my sunglasses.
Oh my god! And I cast it on his sunglasses.
Wow, a whole new meaning
What
of
color is it, Drell?
sunglasses.
Is it still maroon?
No, this one's like a green, like a club neon green.
Man, I was expecting Cyclops over here.
Your sunglasses illuminate this bright neon green, like a lantern torch working almost as a flashlight. Where you look is where there is light. And softly illuminates everything around you. And you are in this cave, and it looks like it just goes forward. And as the neon light illuminates, the light is now also reflecting off these little mushrooms along the cavern walls. They shine green and a light blue, and you hear the soft echoing of hammers banging away down the cavern tunnel.
Like more than one.
It sounds like one, but it's like a steady beat.
Turn the beat around. Should we go this way?
Yep. All right. In we go. And Minnis is feeling very sad, thinking about Numi as he walks forward.
Drell's walking like he has the Apple Vision Pros on, and he's like just waving his hands around with the lights on.
You wander deep into this cave, and before you know it, you find yourself in this massive cavern that opens up. You see a torch lit, almost like a forge fire deep in the distance. The cave is filled with these green and light blue hues. There is an opening on the other end of the cave where the moon shines through to provide some more light. You see in the distance, about 60 feet away from you, is the dwarven child hammering away on an anvil that's slightly bigger than the average anvil. He's on a step stool. And then you see a humongous shadow lurking in the background just beyond the moonlight that is illuminating the better part of this cave. And it looks like a hulking figure is sitting down, hunched over in this cave that's barely able to contain him.
I put my finger to my nose, like nodded.
Wait, to go talk to him? Is that what we're trying to do?
Or whatever.
Dude, I almost I don't know, I'm getting not great vibes now. I feel like we should ambush him and steal his lantern and then talk to him. But he's pretty agile from what it seems like.
I mean, kids these days playing hopscotch and running amok and playing tag and they're just so nimble. They're hard to catch sometimes, you know.
When Lord Baron was talking to us about this guy, did he happen to mention like if he was friendly, if he was in hiding, if he was if he was lost? It seems to me he's just chilling here. So
Lord Baron was talking about who? Who are you asking about?
This wasn't he the
blacksmith?
The blacksmith, the guy.
They were looking for a blacksmith. So Lord Baron requested you to find a blacksmith, and one of the places they were looking was the Kambuki Owls. He did not give you a name. The only lead that you had potentially 2 leads from Reece, who had found, who mentioned Dwark to you, who you believe is this dwarf child because he has the matching hammer, which was an important detail that he left with you. And the other lead that he had that he felt that ended up being a dead end was a drow elf named Cendric.
Got it.
So what are the 3 of you doing as you are overlooking about 80 feet away? You see this dwarven child. His back is to you, kind of like on an angle. You see that he's hammering away, and beyond the moonlight, you see this hulking figure, like hunched over, sitting down. You cannot see any defining characteristics because you're just too far away, but it looks like there's a giant human sitting down.
What do you guys want to do? And Drell leans over and he's whispering.
I mean, maybe I could sneak up, go invisible, and take the lantern just to be safe. Is his lantern at his hip?
It is.
I mean, but what's the worst that happens? He flips his lantern, and then can't we just if we're close enough, he'll take us with him, right? And then we can, I don't think the lantern's the big issue.
Okay, so when he's hammering, is he just nonstop hammering? Has he ever put it down for a moment to I don't know, do something else with either hand?
It's been a few seconds since you guys were talking, so it looks like he's trying to shape something on an anvil.
I'm curious that once he puts the hammer down for whatever moment, then that's when we strike. And
quench.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the quench.
Yep. Or the flux, when he has to flux the heat of whatever he's going. Yep. Any of those things. So I'm thinking he's gonna put it down at one point. That's when we strike. We disarm him.
Well, maybe he's nice. Maybe we just gotta talk to him.
That's what I'm saying. I just feel but I mean, let's be real.
With a monstrosity over there,
Okay, what do you got against tall people? And Drell stands a little taller.
Hey, don't go.
Yeah, and I stand a little taller, and then I remember we're trying to hide.
I mean, I don't have anything great right now with my spells.
I just don't think the best way to make a friend is to steal their shit and then try to talk to them.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be, if we wanted, at that point, if we disarm him and then talk to him, that's better than us ambushing him and fighting him. So he's gonna take it as, oh, hey.
I vote I go invisible, then pop up and say hi.
When you mention that idea, Minnis, so about a few moments have passed, you hear him still hammering away. And as you pitch that idea, you see a large, hulking hand reach beyond the moonlight. Its flesh tone is very gray, heavily tattooed, and the tattoos shine and they are very luminescent within the moonlight, almost providing its own light source. And you see that it stretches across the cavern, and the hand itself is about a good 1/4 of the cave. And you see that a large finger placed next to the anvil. It looks like he's adjusting the very small item in comparison to him on the anvil, and then his hand reaches around the back of the dwarf. He's fixing his posture and then proceeds. No words are said during this process, but it looks like it's guiding him. And then the hand reaches back to the shadow.
See, he's just trying to learn from his master.
Oh, or what if he's like fucking hypnotized or something? Because remember, Armos like tripped in front of him, and he didn't even say anything. He just kept walking. So like, what if he's just being controlled by this person?
I could do one thing. I don't know. I'll just throw it out there and see what you guys think. So I do have another. I can teleport right behind him, and then I can cast
Teleport behind who?
The dwarf, and then I can cast friends on him.
But then he'll know you casted it, right?
Yeah, but if he's being mind controlled by this other guy, then that doesn't matter, right?
Love this mind control theory.
Almost, I need to remind you of how some of these abilities work. And right here, you see that there's a credential for the friends. And he's flipping through your tome. Under the friend spell, now Reginald has some glasses. You need to be, what's the verbiage here? Not hostile. And appearing and scaring somebody in a dark cave in another realm where they don't belong may place you in the hostile category. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I don't think he would.
Drell's like pointing to Reginald and nodding his head. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm not a paralegal, but I'm just saying. Actually, I guess I am. I'm a demon.
If he doesn't even know I exist, I'm not technically hostile, right?
Oh no, it sounds like hearsay to me. I now realize how much lawyers and demons who make pacts with mortals have in common. Crazy.
Minnis's hand is still raised from his idea, too. My hand's getting tired. What are we doing?
I got one last thing before we go with Minnis's idea. I dispel magic, and then we go in there.
I feel like we do that if we run into trouble, just to save your spell slot. You know what I mean? Because if we run into trouble, then we can if we notice something's magical, we can dispel it.
Okay, I'll stay here.
Oh,
The first sign of in trouble. I'm ready.
I'm starting to regret coming up with this idea. All right. I'm going to go invisible with a bonus action, and I'm going to sprint 60 feet forward with a dash action.
You run up 60 feet and you take notice behind a boulder. Make me a perception check to see what you see.
9.
With a 9, you see a dwarf hammering away on what looks like to be an outline of a sword. Nothing specific. It is still burning. Rather than red hot, it's burning green hot. You see that the flame next to him is burning green, and he's using this fell fire to keep the item warm as he looks like he's shaping it. 20 feet away from the anvil, an additional 40 feet beyond that is the hulking figure beyond the moonlight. And now you can get a better look, and you see the outline of 2 large eyes, completely blue. You do not see any type of iris or pupils. It's completely blue. And you hear deep breaths. It is a large humanoid shape. And then a fist emerges from the darkness. The gray arm reaches beyond the sunlight, and just as fast as you ran over, slams his hand down on you, Minnis. Almost like a cage.
On me?
Right on top of you.
Shit. Guys, you can see invisible things.
The massive fingers and your new size make it just thick enough for you not to go through it. And he's like grabbing the ground, making a cage with his own hand. And you see that his face stretches beyond the shadow into the moonlight. Before you is a massive giant sitting in a crater, using it as a seat for himself, hunched over in this dark cave. His tattoos stretch across his body with large tribal marks. They are the same color as his eyes. They are acting as a light source now that they are being reflected from the moonlight. It is a bald, gray giant, very muscular, looks a little bit old, big gray beard that melds in with his flesh tone. And he tries to look under his hand, and he speaks in a very deep voice. Trespassers in Shadowfell. Now I've seen it all. And he's looking right at you despite you being invisible.
Yeah, after 6 seconds, I go invisible, like, hi, I'm Minnis. I don't mean you any harm.
You see the dwarf doesn't notice or acknowledge what's going on. He's hammering away.
Drell pulls out his book that is keeping score for everything, and he marks 1 for Drell and 0 for Minnis, because he was right about. No, I'm just kidding. Just gonna jot this down real quick. Okay, all right, Armos, what do we do? Should you cast Dispel Magic? I don't know if that's gonna help.
I don't know, and I kind of wait to see what happens.
Oh, I got an idea. Reginald, get out there.
Oh, hold on.
I mean, let's just see if he can see you. Then we'll really know what we're dealing with.
It's not a bad idea, although I do have a problem with putting me in harm's way.
I thought you were this almighty, powerful demon. You're afraid of a little
mighty demon from the 9 hells. I earned my 7 wings.
You're right. You shouldn't put yourself in that danger. Drell, throw.
Guys, now that I'm over here, I can tell that your voice is echoing everywhere. We were not being quiet.
Minnis, shut up. All right, well, if you can hear us, then I was right, Minnis.
I didn't say you were wrong.
I throw Reginald.
You see that the giant lifts his hand up and he sets you free, Minnis, as he's looking at you, and you see his blue eyes, like almost as his eyebrows are moving, examining you in place. Minnis PebbleWalker.
Oh my god, he knows his name.
Drell, he knows my name.
Oh, he can't hear me. Yeah, that's crazy.
You said that, you yelled that out loud.
Yeah.
When you say Drell's name, he doesn't have a suspicious face anymore. He has a curious face as he looks into the other end of the cave. And then he leans back so slightly into the moonlight, puts his hands on his massive legs, and he goes, "Please step forward if you mean no harm."
Yes, absolutely. Sorry for giving you a scare here. And I step forward.
You step forward, so now you're illuminating more in the moonlight. And then you step into the dwarf's view. And he looks up for a moment and then stops hammering, and he's like looking around. Then he looks at the giant, then he looks at you again, Minnis. And then the giant turns towards the dwarf and he gives him a calming gesture, almost an at ease type of movement. And you see the dwarf become relaxed and he's no longer worried. "Please join me." And he's talking to you, Drell, and you, Armos.
Guys, he knows you're there.
Fuck. Okay. All right, Armos, you go first.
I walk in.
I guess I follow.
I'm rubbing my shoulder like a kid that got caught trying to get a cookie from the cookie jar.
Drell and Armos, as the two of you step forward towards the moonlit cavern, and you see this massive giant. He's only wearing like a giant fur belt. It looks like the belt is made of from like just a massive beast, and it's only covering his waist down. And it looks like a mix of leather armor and just cloth to keep him warm. He is bare-chested, completely lit up with various tattoos. It looks like this beautiful tapestry on his skin. Very fit. He looks at Armos. He goes, "We have a tiefling, we have a minotaur, and we have a face I never thought I would meet. The son of Brax.
Oh, fuck. Ooh. You know my dad?
I know your father very well."
In like a good way, like you're friends, or like a bad way where it's probably a bad idea that you know I'm his son?
"We used to adventure together." And he reaches his massive hand over and he introduces himself. "I go by Scraeus."
Oh my god. Oh, fuck. I put my hand out to shake his hand and I say, yep, I've definitely heard of you. I'm Drell, as you know. Yeah, and I shake his hand.
You, like like half of his finger is like more than double your size. And you go ahead and you try to shake his hand.
Try to.
And he pulls it back. "I never thought I would ever meet you, because I did not think my name would ever reach your ears. You were just a little lad when your father's passed, but it's nice to finally meet you."
Yep. Yeah, been a long time since then, you know. Quite a few years.
Feels like yesterday in my eyes that I was adventuring with your father.
Well, unfortunately, I never got to do that, so he kind of like died when I was young, so I guess lucky for you to make it feel like it was yesterday, because definitely doesn't feel like that for me.
Such is the Ashborn way. What brings the son of Brax to Shadowfell?
Well, we are looking for Lord Baron, I guess, sent us on a quest looking for a blacksmith to, I guess, possibly help with something he's trying to do.
He smirks at that name. He goes, what is Baron trying to achieve these days?
Science stuff.
As so he believes in.
Yeah, so, listen, Scoreus, we're trying to stop Vero Grimgar from, like, blowing up the world and stuff. So, I don't even know where to begin.
It's another name I haven't heard in a very long time. That lunatic. Although crazy and has some power behind his words to those in Umbrea, isn't the main catalyst driving its destruction today.
Yeah, we know the main guy.
Drell looks at Armos.
Yeah. Look at Armos with a side eye.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I can explain.
Can you? Armos, why don't you show me your journal? And I do air quotes.
Yeah, well, why don't you show me yours?
Oh, yeah, I got one right here. And I pull mine out. Wait, this is not about me. Listen, we gotta tell you, we found the other hammer. Did you make that?
You say hammer and he looks over to the dwarf and then he looks back at you and he goes, you have the Ignis hammer?
Yes.
Do we have it on us or do we leave it with Lord Baron?
Baron has it.
Baron.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we left it with Baron, as you call him.
The overachiever. Not the worst hands you could have left it with, but then again, an item with such lore isn't really safe anywhere. However, a fortress is a good spot to leave it.
Yeah, I think he's like, I don't know, he has that, and I think he has like, I don't know, like one of those blue like acrylic shards or something. I don't know.
Excuse me?
What did you?
Care to elaborate?
Minnis, you want to explain what I was talking about?
Oh, yeah, didn't, what was his name, Bowden or something? Made a pretty cool shard.
Another name I didn't expect to hear today. Bowden.
Look at us.
It seems like the three of you have been around. Bowden was your father and I's traveling companion, part of our hunting party, who went crazy trying to pursue the knowledge of blood shards after a Christo's first attack that devastated the Heartland. He attempted to purify one of the gems because he thought it may have held the key to a Christo's demise. Now, whether it is or isn't, I believe in Bowden. Bowden was a very smart man. However, that knowledge corrupted him, and he's just a former shell of what he once was. Truly tragic what happened to him, but many great wizards have fallen to a worse fate. He left me with his purified gem, in which I have protected in one of my homes in his honor. Now, I don't think it really possesses that much in its own, within its original state. The last thing he had requested of me before he converted to his new form was to craft a weapon that was able to socket and hold one of these gems, something strong enough, because these things tend to have a lot of condensed magical energy within them. The last weapon I was able to make, he looks at you, Drell, was your father's axe.
Oh, damn it. I knew it. Oh, I didn't want to say anything.
And in a result of that creation of that axe, I have lost one of my most valuable smithing hammers. And then he leans closer into the light and he shows his right shoulder, and you see that against his gray flesh, his shoulder and most of his upper arm is completely black with this yellow scarring. It looks like energy's escaping. This golden energy that is releasing through the cracks of his skin. Minnis, you instantly recognize this energy leaving his body. It's the same feeling you got when Bando Bars passed. You get the sense that he's slowly dying.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. And I just give him a look.
Well, it's not your fault, and these things happen. I put my trust in Bowden, and although I'm sure he was on the right path to solving the issue, to my knowledge, he only made one of these gems, and I don't think a single weapon would be able to take out an alleged god, as he refers to it, Christo.
We saw the gem that you were talking about in your temple. We actually met the temple's keeper. They're pretty cool. You should go meet them sometime. But
I'm very familiar with Alara, one of my trusted servants.
Okay, wasn't sure if, you've met or, I don't know, whatever. Anyways.
Who else would have tasked her to watch over my
I don't know the person that was tasked before. I don't know how long ago you disappeared. I don't know these things.
I'm confused. Didn't that happen like 300 years ago?
Alara is very old.
Oh.
In relation to you, to a tiefling.
Okay, first off, I look great for my age. Second off, wait a minute. How do you know our names, but you don't know where we've been?
You see that he points to his eyes and he goes, most gods have true sight. And if they don't, then I wouldn't really call him a god.
Hey, did you know our friend Bandobaris?
I'm familiar with Bandobaris. Unfortunately, I haven't sensed him in a very long time. I assume that he may have passed.
Oh, yeah. We were there.
You would be. Bandobaris was known for his trickery and often meddled in the qualms of mortals, where we should simply step aside, for it is not our responsibility to clean up the problems that, so to speak, you created.
I look over at the dwarf and then back at the god. Aren't you kind of, I'm twiddling my thumbs, aren't you kind of meddling it now, right now? Like,
he looks over at the dwarf, he looks at you, and he actually laughs. I guess you have a fair point. As you can probably sense, my time is slowly creeping up on me as well. Time waits for nobody, whether you are a god or not. I'm simply passing my teachings along.
Hi, Doric. And I wave awkwardly.
He's looking at Scareus, and when you say hi, he doesn't look at you. And then Scareus turns to you and goes, he can't hear you.
Oh, is he deaf?
He is. He also doesn't speak. He understands gestures, and I believe he can read lips, but most of our conversations have just been as simple as pointing and communicating through our gestures and body language.
Minnis looks at Armos, then looks at Drell, and then thinks back to when we used all these abilities to get over a damn wall because we thought he could hear us, and then just feels really embarrassed.
So, let me get this right. You're passing all your knowledge on to somebody who can't hear or talk? Is that what I'm understanding?
If somebody is able to use an artifact as rich as the one he has in his hands, they are worthy of the knowledge I have.
Yeah, I was going to say, Armos, it's pretty insensitive.
And just because somebody can't hear doesn't mean it's a boundary that cannot be overcome. As far as I'm concerned, blacksmithing is very noisy and easily the most annoying part of creating anything.
Yeah, Armos, stop pointing. Armos, stop pointing out other people's downfall.
Wow, Armos, this is so
And then I
rude.
poof back into my mini form because my potion wears off.
It's not what I meant. I'm just saying, how can we communicate to this person?
I want to be back. I want to be tall again.
Under my guidance, you will not communicate with him.
I can be tall? Oh, sorry.
So we've come here because a god walking around the material plane is always cause for alarm. As you can probably assume, I'm well sought after by my own followers. And, well, it becomes a bit of a burden from time to time when you are just trying to teach somebody new and everybody wants to be taught by you. So we have retreated here to the Fell, where time works a bit differently here. It's skewed. A moment can last forever, or it can pass the blink of an eye. So we're able to use Shadowfell to our advantage, so I can train him at a much steadier pace.
So what are we doing? You're creating a weapon. Is that what it is?
One of many. This is right now. I'm teaching him some techniques.
Yeah, the fundamentals.
And he looks over and you see a whole bunch of weapons and a whole bunch of armors being made, and nothing looks like extraordinary. It looks like he's practicing repetition. You have to create 1,000 swords to make your first decent sword. But why have you followed young Dwark here today?
Well, we kind of want the same thing you want, I think. We're hoping to find someone that might be able to craft some crazy weapon that could fight evil, you know?
Is your goal to slay a Christo? Why else would you be pursuing these items? Why are you here, Minnis?
Why are you looking at me? I look left and right, left and right.
You're the one here looking for weapons to fight evil, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, it's our group journey. We need to fight the bad guys, you know? And a Christo needs to be stopped, so, you know.
A problem that has plagued Humbrea and other realms for many, many years. He looks at Armos and he goes, he seems to have the closest connection to him. And then he points to Reginald as you possess a piece of him on your shoulder.
Oh, he can see him.
Okay, things make sense. He's rethinking all the blood shards that he's given at this point.
Hey, do you think there's a way to, like, purify his book like Odin purified those gems?
He looks over at Armos after you mention that, Minnis, and may I see the tome?
Yeah. So I willingly give it to him just because if at any point I want it, I can call it back. It's like one of its abilities.
Wait, Armos, I don't think you should really be giving that to a guy. You see, like, Reginald, like, pull his fur, and then as you hand the book over,
Gross, his radiance is all over it.
he picks it up between his fingers and he looks at it. And as he points it to himself, Armos, Drell, and Minnis, you quickly see the acrylic shard in his tome turn into an eyeball and it stares at Scareus. He goes, his putrid reeks in every realm. He throws the book back to you and lands at your feet. He's keeping tabs on you as he points to the eye, and then the eye disappears within the acrylic shard. The gem you possess is indeed one of these acrylic gems, the one that Bowden had purified. If Bowden was around, sure, maybe he could, if he didn't go mad with the knowledge that he possessed.
I mean, where did you see him last?
Bowden?
Yeah. Like, is there a chance he's still alive?
Or a Nothic?
He points to Minnis and he goes, yeah. He goes, yes, he's currently a Nothic.
Oh, I knew it! I told you guys he was the Nothic! And Minnis writes one for him on his journal.
As many wizards become when they chase evil magic. You see, Bowden was obsessed with finding a cure, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world. He was trying to solve the problem. You see, Bowden is a bit older, 4 times as old as your father, Drell. You see, Bowden was a very powerful wizard that ventured with us. Because although his knowledge was for the magical arcane arts, he did enjoy the occasional monster hunting from time to time. And that's why he traveled with us. And then a Christo attacked for the first time, 600 years ago. You see, Drell, your father is a bit older than you may think. Under our guidance, we had magical means to prolong his life. He may have been still alive today fighting if it wasn't for the disease plaguing his body. The same disease that plagues yours.
Oh, come on. Why did you just say that in front of everyone?
Wait, Drell, what's he talking
No
about?
thing. He's not talking about anything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's some crazy giant guy. He's going old. He's losing his mind. He's got no idea what he's talking about.
I step forward and I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
Wow, dude, sick HIPAA laws. Cool.
Drell's father, Brax, had something called frost rot. Something.
Okay, here we go. And as he starts to talk about it, like, Drell kind of distances himself, but he's still in earshot.
Drell's ancestors, the early fighters of the Ashborns, fought a dragon named Edgar, who was known for his rage, a powerful dragon. The clan managed to slay Edgar, and in their old ways decided to drink his blood thinking would grant them power of the dragon. It did. It gave them this great boon that passed on through his lineage. Those that succumbed to its power through their rage were afflicted by this frost rot. See, the frost rot lies dormant if you live a passive life, but becomes stronger and more effective the more you use it for your advantage. And Drell's father, well, he was an angry one when he wanted to be. But as all Ashborns, they like to go out fighting, and that's how Brax went out.
Oh my gosh. Armos, we're going to have to enroll Drell in some anger management classes. He rages a lot.
Yeah, I slowly start turning back and looking at Drell.
What happened to his axe?
I would imagine it's where he was slain.
And for someone who doesn't know that, where would that be?
I'm unaware of its exact location, but I know it's somewhere within the North Trillis Mountains. See, your father knew that this disease was creeping up on him. The gem that was keeping him alive, which essentially makes you age slower in common terms, wasn't slowing down the disease quite enough. And your father did not want to die to the frost rot, so he wanted to go out the way he wanted to. He traveled deep within the mountains of North Trillis. He went to go find the wolf god Frostoon, which is the god beast of wolves, an elder wolf god that lives in North Trillis that would appear when the moon is highest in the sky. Beasts worship Frostoon. Your father killed Frostoon when he was on the material plane hunting with other large winter direwolves. He slayed the wolf. Badly injured, he succumbed to the disease next to it. But your father died a godslayer, a feat not commonly obtained by the greatest of heroes.
Classic dad.
There's a lot to unpack here.
And you see that he laughs.
I have
so many questions.
lots of questions, and I just kind of look at Drell. Very sad.
Drell puts his sunglasses back on. Oh, it's dirt. It's in my eyes.
Didn't think you guys were going to talk to a god today, did you?
Nope.
Yeah, I did. I saw it on your whiteboard behind me.
Crystal's been watching, so I kind of want to like explain kind of what's been going on with the tome to him that I've been having to gather blood shards, and that it's, you know, a bridge is being formed, and that there's a obvious kind of thing at the end, and see if he thinks it's something that could bring a Christo back to it, similar to how he's hiding in here. Is a Christo hiding in this type of
You divulge all the information that you have about what you've been doing to him?
yeah, just because I'm starting to, like, obviously since he said that about Reginald, that's where Armos's mind's probably going to.
So you tell him all the information about what you've been doing up until this point when you met him, and he goes, so you're the catalyst for his return. That bridge that you're building is the bridge between his realm, Bayloon, and our realm of Umbrea. When you complete that bridge, he will have full connection to this world, and he will be able to return to wreak havoc.
That's what I was afraid of.
Before the second attack happened, we knew the name Viral, Grimgar, as you mentioned before. He was a catalyst for that attack. We knew that Viral was using the Red Dawn to further his plan. These lunatics, these cultists, so that were once outcasted by the world, felt that the cause that Viral was spewing to them to be a just one, because they thought that a Christo would reimagine the world in their image, when all he wants to do is take all life. Bowden was trying to prevent that attack, but it happened too soon. His research wasn't nearly complete to purify one of these gems. And after he left with Horatio, which was lucky that a person who believed that he was a child of God happened to be one, he used Horatio and he traded a momentarily ceasefire with the world, because he knows that the energy he can get from someone with a god heart was worth more than all of the lives that walk around today. Because that one god heart within Horatio could fuel him for many years. The same energy that you are giving him, Armos.
Keep god hearts away from devils. Okay.
Armos is trying to take all that in and just grabs Reginald by his scruff and starts yelling at him like, "Did you know everything about this? You knew all this?"
He's like, Armos, I'm gonna level with you. Yes. What do you think we've been doing? And you see that he jumps down onto the floor. What do you think we've been doing this whole time? I give you power so you can run around and essentially burn things. Get your revenge on the person, the demon that took Layla. You wanted this power for your own selfish gain, and Acristo gave that to you in the form of me. Why do you think you can destroy everything so easily? Why do you think you have all of this power behind your fingertips? It's because of me. We made a deal so you can get your revenge in exchange for blood shards to rebuild the bridge. What do you think we've been doing?
Armos is filled with rage and he doesn't know how to how to express it. Just sitting there just fists clenched, staring at a rabbit that's looking up at him. He would audibly be turning more red at this point, or visibly more red, but
more red than a red tiefling.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like this contract any more than you do. I don't want to serve you respectfully, but here we are.
But Reginald, you're like our friend now.
Yeah, good co-workers, sure.
What? Reginald, I fed you hay.
Yeah, it was great. Don't get me wrong. You got a lot of great stuff here in the material plane. I want to go back to Bayloon. That is where I belong.
Oh, I kind of thought we were gonna hang out for the long haul, and you'd, come with us on cool adventures and stuff.
We're just a mean to an end for this guy.
Oh, I see, Reginald.
Wow.
That's what our contract is. I don't want to serve Cristo any more than he does. And he gestures to Armos. I would love to be my own free demon, but I need to earn that right. So I have to work, and I have to serve him. And he looks at Armos.
Armos, for the first time, is already starting to plan Reginald's demise because he's so angry.
Scoreus chimes in. Here's my 2 cents as a god who's not supposed to meddle with mortal problems. However, what makes a god angry is someone who's not a god trying to play God, which is why I don't like a Cristo. He is not a god, but he sure has the power of one these days. He is nothing more than a lich hiding behind the guise of unholy magic. To defeat him, you need to meet him. Otherwise, he will find other ways to come here, other cultists to do his bidding. If it's not you, Armos, it's someone else. And it could be Viral or someone like Viral. I'm sure you've already met others who have the passion as that crazy kook already has.
So is there anything you can do to help us on this journey? I mean, we came all this way.
I feel more defeated talking to you than I have in any other battle that I've been in. He screams because he's so fucking frustrated.
Walk it off, Armos. Walk it off.
He looks at Dwark and he looks at you. So you're telling me that Baron has the other hammer, the Ignis hammer.
Sure does.
The hammer he's using is Rinth Galeda's hammer. Rinth was a powerful blacksmith, eons old. I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but he was quite talented. These artifacts was what he used to forge powerful weapons. Dwark here holds huge promise. These weapons, these hammers, contain the power to build and craft legendary weapons, and perhaps not wound its user. And he gestures to his arm that is slowly leaking this energy. Perhaps if we had the other hammer and the gem, perhaps we can craft more weapons. This would take time. I recommend, Drell, when he looks at you, I recommend you make amends with your past and the troubles that plague your mind, and you find your father's axe. There will already be one weapon capable of holding one of these gems. If we had another gem, perhaps 2 is better than 1, and then when Armos here finishes the bridge, perhaps you can face a crystal head on. If Bowden was right, perhaps these weapons will have an effect against him.
But you're saying if we were to find, because we have 2 gems, so if we were able to find Bowden, then he could turn Armos's gem into a 3rd one?
There's 2 gems? And now he looks surprised for the first time.
Oh, did we gloss past that?
Yeah, Minnis found it in a tunnel.
Yeah, we were helping Kemi Joe with a school project.
Yep.
Then we found an alchemy jug, and then I made friends with a snake. And then we kept going. Then we made Reginald. Oh no, not Reginald. Armos, I think, swam across and found it.
Where was this tunnel? I find it hard to believe that you were just wandering in a cave one day.
Well, we were at a cave. There were bugbears. Then we went to fight some jazzy dudes. And it was in that house, which was outside of, I think it was outside of Gilo.
It was in a well. Wasn't it in a well?
Yeah.
You point to him
Yeah,
on
we went
a
down a
map
well.
where Gilo is, and he goes, yeah, that was Bowden's house.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh my fucking god. Okay. Now,
Does it all make sense, Armos, from Arc 1? Is it all coming together? Where you found
I
a
thought
book
we
with
knew
a
this in Arc
Navik?
3.
no, I thought it was the fucking Jack Bolsinki's fucking house.
No, Jack Bolsinki was just happened to be with the jazz bandits, and he's an
Armos.
initiate.
Armos, show him your creature book.
Monster notebook.
Yes. So you take out the monster notebook, and it's a book that Bowden was like researching on, and it's filled with various monsters. Mechanically, if early on in the game, you were able to have a chance to find weaknesses for early game monsters, but there was a page folded in where it was a Nothic, and it was notes about the Nothic. You show him the book, and Scarius laughs to himself, and he goes, he knew he was going to turn into this. He knew he was going to succumb to this, and yet he prepared for it. That's the Bowden I know. He was leaving clues.
Yeah. Tried to capture him too.
You met Bowden?
Met's a strong word for what happened. Really, he followed us, and it was late night at camp, and then I tried to capture him with a net, and then he ran away.
Why was he following you? Did you have one of these gems on you?
Yeah.
Now that makes sense. So if he's a Nothic following one of these gems around, he's probably studying its abilities and how it reacts to mortals.
Wait, does this book, and I point to Armos's tome, can this like listen in on our conversations as well? Like is everything we're talking about being communicated?
Well, when I picked it up, there was an eyeball looking at me. I would assume that he might be able to hear you.
What?
Wrap it in foil.
Dispel magic. Wait, I need that.
Here's what I'll do. Baron has this other hammer. I will take young Dwark here, and we will go and we will craft using both hammers. We'll retire to the chapel where I have my tools, and we will begin crafting another weapon. He looks at Drell and he goes, I feel there's already one made just for you, if you want to take the journey. He looks at Armos and he goes, you're not much of a weapon user, I see. More the magic kind. If you find Bowden, perhaps the 2 of you can have a discussion. And he looks at you, Minnis. If I would craft a second weapon, it might be for you.
Oh. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty happy with my god sling here, but you know Melora? You ever met Melora? You hang out in like your world?
We don't have godly taverns, but I have crossed paths with Melora.
Yeah, I'm new to this. Cool. Yep. Yeah, she's awesome. We're like best pals.
Best pals. A follower of Melora is always welcome.
Good. So
Well, next time you see her, tell her Minnis said what's up.
Yep. That exactly. So okay. Got a plan. Plan is good. Plans are good. And we appreciate you helping us out in any capacity. I suppose when we're done here in the Kambuki Isles, we'll go back that way. Speaking of which, Minnis is rubbing his shoulder again. You don't happen to know like the exact location of the crystal-headed Hydra the Kimbuga has, do you?
I'm unfamiliar with this beast.
Oh, okay.
There are hydras all around the Kambuki Isles. There are many
everybody
types
keeps
of
saying
hydras.
Yeah.
You got ocean hydras, you got cave hydras, land hydras, iron scale hydras.
Always the exact
hydras.
same
You got some hydras with 5 heads.
pitch every time.
Armos has been pacing this entire time and is just losing his mind the more I hear the word Hydra.
Cool. Yeah, so that's fine. Minnis is like really starting to get worried at this, like at the journey that all of his efforts have been for nothing. And he's gonna go home empty-handed, and he's just kind of staring at the ground.
I will go back to my chapel, greet Alara once again. I hope she's excited to see me. I'm sure she's doing a great job watching over my home. It seems hopeful that the 3 of you have met me this day. Perhaps Dwark has done more than progress in his blacksmithing abilities. He led 3 unlikely heroes to my presence. Some might call that divine faith. I just call it luck. He looks at you, Minnis.
What's up?
He goes, let me see your sling for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. I've never let anybody touch it before. You could. He holds it out and he like holds on way too long and gets lifted off the ground as he's going, and then finally,
you see Scoreus gets nice and close, and he looks at your sling, and he can easily tell that this is like your preferred weapon. And he's starting to examine it. And he goes, "You may be able to craft something to your liking, and this will be a little out of the ordinary for Doric here, and a great test of his skills." Laura has done a great job already, and he could sense the her influence on the sling, and he goes, "But perhaps we could make a few adjustments to it to maybe hold one of these gems."
To hold it? Oh. Well, you don't need to do anything specifically for me, as long as we get the proper tools needed to defeat him. But if it happens to work, I promise you, I will wield it greatly.
He leans back and he looks at Dwarric and he makes a few hand gestures. He's like, almost like sign language. And you see Dwarric begins to wrap up some of his supplies, and it looks like they're ready to set out. And he looks at Drell. He gets closer. Drell's holding back tears behind his sunglasses. He goes, "I'm really happy to have met you today. Your father was a mighty warrior. We have traveled and hunted many dangerous beasts together. Giants, dragons, beholders. It was a lot of great times."
Yeah, I'm glad I was finally able to meet someone that knew my dad better than I did and was able to spend a lot of time with him. So it's good to hear, war stories.
Your father hunted down an evil god of beasts that would raid and pillage simply just to destroy. If he did not go out and fight, the father you would have met would not have lived up to your expectations today. Your father wanted to go out the way the Ashbournes have believed they should go out their entire lives. He wanted to go out a monster hunter. And if he were to stick around to try to raise you, he feared that you would not have respected him the way you would respect other great fighters today. And he would rather you have the memory and the legend of how your people live than an elderly man who wouldn't be able to stand.
Well, I guess, maybe I will be like him. I actually have a crazy psycho beast god chasing me as well, thanks to this guy. And I thumbs back over to Armos, talking about the Knoll god that's fucking sending all the
shit.
So, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to kill one too one day. We'll just have to see.
He nods at you, and he tries to shake your hand, but he gives you a sign of respect. He makes like a symbol with his hand. If you're anything like your father, I have full faith in you. And he sits back and he goes, "Well, looks like we have our work cut out for us. We're going to be gathering our things and be heading back to my chapel and heading back to my chapel shortly. Do you need passage to South Trillis?
Yes.
Oh,
with the question mark?
goodness, yes, if that's possible.
Well, we are leaving now. You can come with me.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, that works.
No.
Oh no, never mind. Yeah, we got some stuff we got to take care of.
No, I mean, guys, if you want to go back and start getting that stuff ready, that's cool. And he's kicking a rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then no. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Armos
No, we got some stuff we got to take care of here.
Yeah,
We got some hydras to kill.
Armos already feels like everything's defeated as far as he's considered. Like, like he just isn't going to win in his ability, so he wants to make sure that at least Minnis completes his quest, but he doesn't know. He wants to talk to Minnis and just be level with him, because we've kind of been going around doing all these things, type of situation, and I level with Minnis, and I'm like, Minnis, I don't know if there is a crystal-headed hydra.
Yeah.
But if you want to stay here and fight it and search, we can, and then make our way back to South Trillis any way you want. But we've asked a lot of people about this, and we don't even have a lead currently. And let's just say fighting a god would be a better trophy to bring back to your tribe than any hydra there is. Don't start listing them. And I point to the Scraeus.
He stares intently.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't know if it exists for real. It's been a legend in our tribe for a long time. It's been said that warriors have tried and failed centuries and centuries and centuries ago. I don't know if it is real, but I'm gonna at least try and see if I can find it. If you want to join me, that would mean the world. But if nothing happens of it, I apologize that I couldn't lead you to Greater Beast, Drell. And that I couldn't help you get through this shit. And I look at Reginald. Armos.
Don't look at him. Don't you dare. You take that best friend page out of that book.
Yeah, we're upset at you right now, Reginald.
Oh, you're upset at the demon for doing demon things. Oh, wow, this is great. And he paces in a circle.
And just stop you from talking, I am going to do it. But that is not the point right now.
Scraeus chimes in to you, Minnis, as he's listening and part of the conversation. He goes, make sure you are satisfied with your own life before you willingly throw it away for others. You're taking a big risk if you choose to go down this road with him. And he looks at Armos. It's a big risk that you may not return from if you're going to go all out. If you're going to go all out, make sure you've taken care of the business that is important to you. And that is advice from a god.
And I'm writing that down in my journal. Advice from a god. Wow. Hey, you don't happen to have any I don't know, +5 armor or anything for my dying friend over here, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is all this stuff that you have over here? Least we can do is
simple
utilize
armor.
some of it.
We're practicing technique and form. You see, wielding a hammer of that magnitude can take a lot out of you. So he's practicing repetition. The armor here is simple plate armor, chainmail, various different styles. I think you're better equipped the way you are than taking this stuff around.
Gotcha, just had to ask.
Understood.
I mean, when you're with a god and he's making lots of armor,
My crafting days are long behind me, and he taps on his wounded shoulder.
All right, well, we've got business to take care of here. We'll see you on the other side. But not like when we're dead. That came out wrong. We'll see you in South Trillis.
I mean, the guy's dying, Minnis. Come on.
I'm sorry. I know.
You know what? We're all dying. Now that I think about it and I start talking about Drell.
Drell's already walking towards the exit.
You see Reginald's next to Drell, so it's like, so now that you're like dying and in the foreseeable future, if you were to pass, what would you want to happen to your hands?
The last thing I would want is for you to put your little grubby mouth all over them.
Okay, hey, listen, you never know until you ask. And he waddles away back to Armos. Well, we're going to be travel within Shadowfell. Perhaps sometimes the answers you're looking for aren't as clear as day. And you might find some answers within the darkness. If your adventure has brought you here, then take a look around.
Thank you for speaking with us, and I'm glad we found you when we did. I think we're going to be leaning on each other quite heavily in the next month or so.
I look forward to our next encounter. And you see that he slowly gets up, his full body shines within the moonlight as he's using the opening from the moon to illuminate his whole body, and he begins to turn and start packing up the tiny equipment from Dwark and puts them on his shoulder and begins to climb out through the top as he leaves the cave. The cave is now that much darker since he has left, and the only light source is the dying forge flame and your and Drell's sunglasses.
Now my feather.
And your feather. And Armos' red hot rage. The three of you are currently in Shadowfell in Sanlow. What would the three of you like to do?
All right, we should probably hurry out of here, right?
All
Well,
right.
I mean, he said, what you're looking for might be in the darkness, so what if this Hydra is in this cave?
Okay, maybe. And I try and think back to like Madame Fussel and see if I can, because I know Drell can like see portals, so I'm trying to see if I can call in that same promise that was made.
Yes, Drell knows of all active portals to Shadowfell. So when you think back to Madame Fussel, she mentioned that this being that you're looking for, this Crystal Hydra, was in the town of Sanlow.
But
Interesting, but it could be in.
yeah, it could be in Shadow. Yeah, what if it was the Shadowfell Sanlow?
Oh, I never really thought about that. I suppose I was so.
Yeah, because wouldn't people in a town see a Hydra if they knew?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
I want to just do a general perception check of like the town, because we're not in the town now, or we are.
The cave, the mine that you went through was like just beyond like a wall. It's considered to be inside the city, but it was like in a closed off area because the mine was no longer active.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
do an investigation check while we're in the cave, I guess, just to see if there's anything related to a Hydra or I don't know.
Okay. So you go ahead and you look through the cave. The cave is essentially this giant cavern that Skiraeus and Dwark were using as a forge to teach. So as Dwark would be able to learn from Skiraeus. You're looking around, you don't see any hieroglyphics, you just see the old remains of
Yeah,
soot,
that's exactly what I was hoping.
soot, dust, ignites that have been ruined, and all this old armor. They just like left it behind. You examine the armor a little bit, and you see the obvious flaws from Dwark. It looks like he's been practicing every waking moment towards crafting and with constant repetition, and some of the armor looks fantastic, great standard armor, and others look really dented and poorly managed. You look around the cave, and it's just like a straight shot from where you entered to this large room that Skiraeus was able to sit in. And you start to walk outside of the cave to go towards Sanlow, still observing, and you see the town of Sanlow, and it's completely deserted. You like go past that fence that you initially came in. It's like all destroyed and torn down. The city is deserted and empty. The buildings are run down and nearly destroyed. However, they do look very similar to the buildings that you passed. The gates surrounding the city look beaten and worn and swing loosely on its rotting hinges. The moon is high in the sky and it's illuminating everything around you, but you notice one very obvious detail that's missing. There is no floating island here, and And that is where we'll end this week's session.
That's suspicious.
That's weird.
Lore episode.
Heavy lore episode.
Yeah.
Heavy lore episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lore episodes are always good.
Be good.
You know, the thick lore episodes.
Yeah, we got another journey. We got new quest.
Quest going north.
New quest unlocked. So, pulling back the curtain a little bit, I always try to avoid talking heavy episodes. So it's like you guys don't really travel that much. It's just like you talking to one person the entire episode. But this was like a much needed session. This is eventually going to come. For those that are taking notes, there was a lot of things dropped in this session.
Mm-hmm.
Hope everybody's theories and are holding up, or perhaps some questions are answered for any
You
conspiracy
guys can't
theories
see
out
this,
there.
but Armos Jared is just shaking his head
So mad.
over.
Why? Because Reginald called you out.
Well, there's that. But I'm saving it. I'm trying to just save it.
After show.
That was a very strong moment between Armos and Reginald. It's like kind of a wake up call a little bit. You have to like, Reginald is, friendly or whatever, but like you have to remember he is a demon and working for the dude that's trying to eat the world, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want the storyline where he's like, in the last moment, Reginald's like, no, jumps in front of Armos.
The Fable 2
He's not
ending.
gonna get a chance. That's for sure.
That's good.
Solid sewed.
Oh,
Great job.
Yeah, great job, everybody. Everybody gets an inspiration die for role
Everybody.
play. Yeah. It's a big episode. It's a big episode. It's a big checkpoint episode.
I'll take that. I need
Yeah. And with that being said, does anybody have any recommendations?
Oh, I mean, no one else has one. I have one, but it's not like anything crazy.
Why don't you take it this week?
I just started watching this show. It's called Abbott Elementary. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I've seen
it's
ads
on
for it.
Hulu.
Oh, is it a comedy?
It's pretty funny.
Oh, who's the teacher in it?
So it has the guy from Everyone Hates Chris.
Yes.
So he's in it, and it's so good. Like some of it, like there's just one like specific episode that I just could not stop laughing the whole time. But they are coming out with season 3. It'll probably actually be out on Hulu by the time this airs. So you've got like 2 seasons to catch up on if you want. It's just like a good, like lighthearted, I don't know, comedy.
Yeah,
Like a
I've
good
seen some
comedy
clips.
to wind down from a betrayal that you'll never recover from. Yeah, gotcha.
It's super funny because there's just one teacher as well that totally reminds me. So she's like just this diehard blue collar lady from like, because it's based in Philadelphia. So she's just like this blue collared like Philly lady from like South Philly, and it just reminds me of Tony and like his like New York voice that he does for some characters, and it's just too funny. It's too funny.
Well, I never do a New York voice for my characters. Okay, they just happen to sound that
no.
way.
You try not to do it on purpose.
Some of his characters. You mean all of his characters?
Oh, I'm a god here. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm crafting here.
Scraeus was like, "Hey, I'm crafting here. Like, what are you doing?"
And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our Patreon supporters. Say goodbye, everybody.
Ooh, goodbye.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Patreon shout-out, starting with the Bloodshard Bandits. A small fox peeks its head out of a giant footstep. Morgan Ulthil does the same. Hero and companion look towards their target, then back at each other with a worried glance. As silent as can be, the 2 hunters flank their prey. Washed in shadow, the beast can be seen breathing deep in sleep. It was not a giant after all. Artemis and Kemi Joe leave the Wildside Tavern in good spirits. You never knew Sir Jofferson could act so confident. The 2 barmaids even came along for the journey as they are headed towards the Lucius farm and vineyard. Something feels off, but Artemis can't seem to put his gauntlet on it. Rocco the Croco continues east, not sure exactly what he will find along the way. After a half-day's journey, Rocco stumbles upon a young Kuatoa seemingly stuck in the mud. After reaching out to help, bang, chop, whack! The little guy hits him with a butterfly spin and swift strike to the jaw. The last thing Rocco sees before falling unconscious is a small ribbon waving in the wind. Baby Dread peeks out from behind the wrong show. The Dread, in his young drow form, holds tight to his mother. She picks him up and runs, shouting for someone in the distance. Peering over his mother's shoulder, Baby Dread watches in horror as the green flames spread like wild magic fire. The door closes just in time for Alara to force Julius into a duel. The tension is palpable as a ceramic tumbleweed made from the vase Minnis destroyed rolls by. Alara shifts her foot along the floor, shifting to a more optimal stance. Boom! Anma slams her fist down on a raptor, then waves at Reece. He found her just in time, as this new lead can't be left unled. Anma's smile turns to that of shock. With whimsy, Reece asks if his new hairstyle is really that bad. Before Anma can answer, Reece feels the breath of a giant reptile on his neck. Pow, blam, boom! Julius Kendrick throws necrotic magic this way and that, doing his best to keep his distance from this masked martial artist. Every time he thinks there is time to light his lantern, Alara shortens the gap. Aha! She was careless, and Julius blasts a hole right through her mask. But wait, there is no one behind that mask as it falls to the ground. And why does he feel like he is falling too? A young fighter donned in holy plate armor scans the bounty board of a local tavern. The barkeep shouts over, "Not much coin to be made there, laddie. Nor do we care to share it with someone like yourself." The fighter turns calmly and places a strong hand over the hilt of his sword. The barkeep changes his tone when he recognizes the face before him. "Prince Aaron, please forgive me." A man in the corner watches this happen, but there is something wrong with this man. It's like he's never held a fork and knife before. People are staring at the prince, so maybe he can sneak away during the shift in focus. Rains sweats as he tries to keep up appearances. Rommel sets up camp close to a portless shore of the Kambuki Isles. Sample after sample, he collects rocks, dirt, and bark, and takes note of their strange similarities. It is as if the terrain in this area shares a heartbeat with the plants rooted into it. He prepares a ritual on the ground with materials he collected. Let's hope he got the math right. And finally, Warden enters Humbrea once more, but this time with a new outlook. Fully decked out with new armor and new skills, this hero is sure to turn some heads. What kind of adventures will they embark on next month? Next are the Sigil College alumni. Andrew Hall sits sweating as he puts quill to scroll on his final test. Not because of the difficulty, but because of the broken Ray Frost conditioner. He's pretty sure he aced that test. Sakajewa has finished the arena, but now it's time to build his very first Rocket Boot League car. He paints the trim titanium white and prepares to train his newly enlisted club members. Patrick Wennerstrom, or should I say Punk, runs from the Red Guard, his bandmates close behind. As they dash away, Punk pitches a new song to his band members that goes, "I fought the guards and the guards won, Robit takes the end of the day bread out back to be thrown away at the end of his shift, but places it into a bag of holding instead. It is said great cities are built on great foundations. St. Chaos is trying to cut a distribution deal with Alusha's farm and vineyard, but has hit a bump in the road. Their head winemaker wants to meet in person. St. Chaos is now wondering if he can obtain a true polymorph spell with his wine-drunk rat army. Scoot Dude finally got back to us. Tragar Meltmetal is spending his last summer studying in a dusty cave a few miles just outside the Sigil College. He's the first in his family to go to college and also the first goblin to ever get accepted to the Sigil College. Sergio Rodriguez frantically looks for the missing blood shards that he was supposed to be guarding. If he doesn't find them, he can kiss this job with the Red Guard goodbye. What would he even do if that happened? Next is Sly, the were-raccoon. Sly follows an armored guy, a gnome, and two barmaids out of the Wild Side Tavern. They should make easy targets. And last but not least are Humbrea's heroes. Abdul Rahman begins brewing his new anti-theft potion to actually thwart a thief this time. Alec's Dread questions the first person he meets, looking for clues on the anti-theft potion thievery. Caleb Schneider feels a bit weirded out that this random guy would question him in the middle of a duel. However, Johnny Tar uses the distraction to his advantage and lunges towards Caleb. In Dillmore, Man with Glass waves his new patron goodbye as he prepares to leave the store in search of this anti-theft potion. Odamel doesn't really understand all these new techniques, but tries her best to follow the Rocket Boot League match. Nubs tries to explain how the player Beast Sense is performing what is called an Era Elemental dribble. Back in the potion shop, someone named Will Miller watches in curiosity as a shop owner throws his homebrew potion at a thief. And that's it for this month's Patreon shoutouts. If you'd like to hear your name read here, go on over to patreon.com/DND404 and see how you can become part of the community.